Hey there, I'm Shanda Trope, founder and CEO of Transcendent Publishing. And today I'm here with our author, Bernadette Rodebaugh, the miracleologist, who is the best-selling author of Believe It to Receive It. Welcome, Bernadette.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk to you because you have had such great success since we published this book. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on here today. So we published, so the full title, Believe It to Receive It, Activate the Miracles Waiting for You. How exciting is that? To know that we have miracles waiting for us. But we published that back in August. And you are still, so when we published back in August, during your launch, you hit #1 bestseller on Amazon in 10 categories. And it's 5 months later, and you are still sitting at #1 in several categories. You're #1 in, let's see, spiritual growth, miracles and spirituality, new age self-help. I was just blown away when I started, because I'm always in the bestseller list looking for which categories I'm going to place authors into when we do their launch. And to see that you're still ranking at #1 shows that people are really interested in your book, and also that you wrote a great book. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. And your help with that. Definitely.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. Well, there's a lot that goes into writing a bestseller and publishing a bestseller. So in addition to, the things that we can do, make sure you have a high quality cover and that you have the nice interior formatting and that you put all those components in the book that you need. The hardest part is writing a good book, and you really did that. You really wrote an incredible book. So one of the first things I want to ask you is, what was your inspiration behind writing the book?
When my journey of healing started 17 years ago, it's lonely. When you're looking for answers and doctors and family and friends don't know what to tell you, it's lonely and scary. And that's what began my journey. Is I just asked God and the universe and angels for guidance. What can I do? And so I was guided from one step to another, and that took several years. I'm going to say maybe a decade, close to a decade, to get all the steps to always being healthy all the time, like to get out of that rut I was in of being sick since childhood and always having something wrong, and accepting it, and accepting that I wasn't going to feel good. And then I felt good. And when you feel good and you're healthy, you don't think about being sick anymore. You're just not there. And so I lived a good life of raising my son. And then when I was working as a hairdresser, because I had been a hairdresser for 23 years, all of a sudden, all the signs were telling me, you're not supposed to be a hairdresser anymore. I mean, just things were going wrong at work, like horrific things going wrong, people having chemical reactions. I mean, horrible stuff that it shouldn't happen unless you're in beauty school. And I felt like the whole universe is telling me, this isn't for you anymore. Get out, get out. And so when I left that, being a hairdresser, I had no idea what I was supposed to do. And then the introduction to the book, I found an old journal. And all of a sudden, when I read that old entry in the journal, it woke something up in me. It was like a light had been switched on. And I was like, oh my God, I got to write a book. And I didn't know exactly what about, but I started writing a book, and it was actually 7 years ago. So I don't know if you remember, Shanda, but my book got erased. So my original book 7 years ago got erased after 2 years. I had like one chapter to do. It got erased. And then I was so furious with myself for accidentally erasing it that I didn't write for another 1.5 to 2 years. But it's meant to be.
Yeah, there are no accidents. So I love that you felt this calling to write a book, because I speak with so many aspiring authors who maybe in one profession, and they feel like there's something else. There's a bigger purpose for them. And they get these ideas to write their book. And I tell them, you know, any idea that you get that won't leave you alone, that inner calling, that was placed there by the divine. That is your purpose and your passion. So I commend you for following those signs and following your passion and actually writing the book. And just so you know, anytime that I've ever worked with an author who has lost any type of work, and it happens, so save that work, authors, but it happens all the time, but it always seems to happen for a reason, because whatever they write next is so much stronger. It's just meant to start over. The universe was just saying, hey, you're going to start over. And because when you start writing again, you're writing from a different place than you were when you wrote the original piece. So maybe you've acquired more knowledge or more experiences, and that was meant to go in the book. So it's all divinely guided.
Definitely, definitely.
Well, that's wonderful. And so inside your book, you talk about becoming like a miracle magnet, which sounds so intriguing, because of course we want to attract miracles. And this is something, what I like about reading your bio, and I'm just going to read a piece of your bio for everyone, just so they can learn more about you. It says Bernadette Rodebaugh is a best-selling author, visionary coach, and the miracleologist, with a mission to guide and remind you that you are the miracle magnet in your own life. Through her personal experience, Bernadette has learned that miracles are an inside job. However, one must first believe and see their miracle, as they call it, into their life. She teaches the everyday tools to do this in her professional personal coaching workshops and mastermind groups. Bernadette is also an intuitive and teaches you how to use your own internal guidance system to be guided to your next best step toward the miracle you are seeking, which is exactly what you did. As her teachings are not tied to any specific religion, they can be utilized by anyone, regardless of their spiritual or their spirituality or their belief system. And the reason why I wanted to read that is because I think that's so cool that this is something that can be applied to anyone. You don't have to be spiritual. You don't have to be of a certain religion. You are saying that anyone can activate miracles in their life. And so I wanted to ask you what you mean by that. Like, how can one become a miracle magnet?
It really is about being hope. I believe where there's hope, there's miracles. You just have to hope that there's a possible answer that's out there outside of your narrow vision. And once you open up to the possibility that there could be something that you don't know how it's going to come to you for your answer, then the universe just starts sending you, to me, it's like signs, and sending you all this good stuff in your life. You know, to me, those miracle magnet is that perfect parking place when you're running late and you don't have time to walk a mile to get to the appointment. You know, it's you're thinking about somebody and you're worried about them, and they call you and they ask you a question that they're needing. You know, so there's just, you know, once you're open up to the possibility of miracles start showing up in your life in every area. And I believe just acknowledging and being thankful and gratitude, no matter what is, you know, I use the word in the book, higher power. So whatever your word is for God or universal energy, just acknowledging it and being thankful just starts bringing in more and more miracles.
Absolutely. Gratitude seems to be, for me anyway, the key to abundance and attracting more into our lives. So yeah, it's an incredible book. And I love that you give your readers the tools that you used to create this life and everything that you use to heal and to, and these are practical tools they can use in their own life. So, where could somebody learn more about you? Let's say somebody wanted to work with you. Where could they learn more about you?
This is a really good question because I'm fine tuning all of this right now. So I have a website, themiracle-ologist.com. And so we have all my services and a little bit about me and things that I'm offering right now. And we're just now getting on, putting a schedule on there. So right now on the website, you have to actually email me.
Uh-huh.
And then I will, set up an appointment with you. But this has just taken us by storm. All this good stuff. You keep thinking you have time to do all that, and then you're like overwhelmed. So I'm so grateful, but I feel like I'm running a little behind on being able to be easy to reach. But I return all my emails as soon as possible.
Yes, perfect. And that's a good lesson to other authors who might be watching. This is why I always teach authors to make sure you have everything set up before you publish, and work on those things while you're writing your book, because you never know the success that you're going to have. So you had no idea that your book would be this well received, that it would stay at #1 for all these months now, and you're getting quite a few opportunities, and you've been doing speaking and podcasts. So people, because they're seeing you, and they're finding your book on those bestseller lists, you're getting these opportunities. So tell us a little bit more about what do you have to offer as far as programs for your clients? Do you have a course, or do you do coaching?
Yes. So I do miracle coaching, and I also do readings. I do intuitive readings. That's honestly intuitive angel cards are what started helping me open up my intuition and confirm. So I've been doing that for 17 years, and that's really fundamental to me with my inner guidance. And anybody that works with me as a miracle coach, I teach them those tools so they can receive that information themselves. I don't believe that you need other people the rest of your life. A lot of coaches want to say, oh, I can help you next year and the rest of your life. And I'm like, no, I can teach you what I know, and then that's going to push you forward. And maybe once in a while you'll need to tune up and come back and get some ideas, but you don't need me forever, because I believe you know your answers. Like, the answers are coming to you. And I just really, really just want people to know that. And also in the book, I talk about a miracle team, how to create a miracle team to have others support you, and you help them bring more miracles into your life. So I'm just getting ready to launch, it's like a mastermind miracle team, and that will be the end of January. And so I have information in my website about that too.
Oh, wonderful. And if somebody wanted to look for your book on Amazon, can you show them? Do you have a copy of it?
Oh, yes. Yes. There we go.
Nice. Leave it to receive. I love the colors in that book. I really love the colors on your cover. It really draws the eye in, and it matches so well with your genre as well. So if you go to miracles and spirituality or new age self-help, it really matches what's trending in the genre. And that's what I try to help authors understand when it's time to create the book cover, that it's not always just what the author wants. You really have to look at not only having a book cover, of course, that you like, but one that also is going to speak to your target audience, so that if they see it, they know what genre it is. That's only going to help with your long-term sales. So of course, writing a good book definitely helps keeping you at the top of the bestseller list, but also, making sure that you have that color that's on, or that cover that's on point in your genre, which you do. So yeah.
Thank you. I wanted to find something that showed somebody walking out of the darkness.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted, is that there's miracles out there waiting for you. It feels dark and lonely where you're at, but just walk towards the light. And so I'm so thankful for the artist you connected me with that did exactly what I was envisioning in my head.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. And, our cover designer is pretty intuitive himself. So when you expressed your vision, he was able to grasp that vision, and together, between your guidance and his creative process, you really nailed it. So I love that cover.
Thank you.
Actually, I have it featured on our website.
I didn't.
Yeah. So if you go to transcendentpublishing.com and you go to design samples, I have undercover design. It's the first one, and I feature it in full cover, 3D, and front cover, because there's just something about it that draws the eye in, the colors, and And I remember when we were talking about your cover, it was so important to you to have that, that person emerging out of the darkness and into the light. So I love that when an author has an idea and then is open to see, where the cover designer takes it. So yeah, that came out really well. So let's see what else I was going to ask you is, what is one step someone could do today if they wanted to start activating miracles in their own life?
To ask their higher power, whatever it is, for signs and messages. I know when I first began this road, I had been sick for so long that I had given up on God. I was like, how could God want anybody to feel this sick and miserable?
Yeah.
And I ran across some books about angels, and I thought, well, I don't know if I believe in you angels, but I'm open to having you help me with this and help me find my healing and heal from this. And just that, even saying, I don't know if I believe in you, but I'm open to receiving, is where the messages started coming through, and everything just started showing up in my life. And I think that's the biggest secret, the biggest point, I guess, is to ask. Mm-hmm. And, like I said, willing to receive, just open to however it comes to you.
Yes. Just be willing to set that intention and put it out there into the universe. And then with everything that's going on in our world, it's easy to get lost in the hustle and bustle of everyday life and the pandemic and, all the politics and the negativity online. But you have to somehow become in alignment so that you can be open to seeing the signs that are coming to you and the blessings that are there, because it's still up to us after we ask to take inspired action when those opportunities are presented to us. Don't you agree? Oh, I think you froze.
You froze. Okay, you're okay. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is wanting a miracle, wanting answers, and being hopeful.
Yeah. Being hopeful, having faith, and just allowing it in. Well, that's a lovely message. And so I'm super glad that you came on to talk with me today. And I hope everyone goes and looks for your book on Amazon, Believe It to Receive It. And they can find you on your website, themiracleologist.com. So it's miracles-ologist.com.
Yes.
Right. So what would you say, before we wrap up here, to someone out there who might be in the same place that you were, where you were maybe in a profession that you no longer enjoyed or no longer lit you up, or you're feeling called to write a book? What would you say to that person?
Just start writing. Just dedicate whatever amount of time you can. I don't care if it's 5 minutes of journaling before you go to bed, or you can do an hour at night when you put the kids to bed, or whatever you can do. Just start creating a schedule of when you can write, and the universe sees that you're ready and you're open to it. It'll start bringing messages to you. And it may not be that day or week that you start. So stay open-minded, because I know that for me, the first 3 months of starting to write was a lot of me just kind of clearing out all the clutter in my mind and in my heart, and just getting it out on paper. And then the actual book, once I kind of cleared all that out, then the actual book started to emerge, or the information. So it's kind of like I had to declutter and get rid of some crap.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the book, but it really cleansed my soul and my heart and my mind. And so, if you feel like, oh, this isn't good, and why am I even trying? Don't give up. Just keep clearing and making a way. And as you clear and get that stuff out, the real message will start to come through. And then even through the editing process, they help you weave that out. Yeah. So, don't worry about it being too not perfect enough before you send it to the editor, because their professionalism really helped me see my writing in a different way and clear out the clutter to make way for the message.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was such an honor to work with you throughout publishing this book and launching it to the world. And what was your experience like working with Transcendent Publishing?
I am so thankful for you and your team. And I guess what's important for people to know about me hiring you is I really had not worked on computers until those 7 years that I decided to start writing the book. And then I was self-trained, and I wasn't one of those people who are in alignment with computers and information just starts to come to them. I really should have took a class is what I'm trying to say. I wasn't very good at computers. However, I just trusted the message and got it there. And then I asked for guidance, and I was led to you. You were a referral for me. And I'm not good at typing, so I did voice dictation. So don't tell yourself you can't write a book because you don't have the computer work ability or typing ability. Where there's a will, there's a way. And so I did, I'm going to say 95% of my book, voice dictation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, voice dictation, and with no computer experience. And I would just kind of ask some friends, I'm like, oh, you have a Mac? I need to do this. How do I do it? Then they show me, and that would get me through to one step. And then the next step, I'd need another answer. And so the answers just came one step at a time. So working with you guys, I know that I was not an easy person to work with, but you never made me feel like I lacked or made me feel bad that I wasn't at the standard of this is a computerized world. This is computerized generation, normally at my age. And so that was my experiences. I just think the best of you guys, because at every level you helped me out wherever you could, or explain things so I understood what to do. And that I'll be forever thankful. And that's why I tell everybody, don't waste time with how-to books of how to publish and all that. Just come to Shanda.
Aww.
And they'll connect you with what to do, because really we should spend, authors think they have to be how-to experts for everything. And I don't think so. I think that we are given people in this life to help us, and that's their specialty, and let them, because learning how to can get in the way of your creativity of your next book. Yeah. And that's where I'm at right now, is I'm having people ask me for my next book. So I'm starting on that again. And so I look forward to working with you again.
Oh, wonderful. Well, just so you know, you are not a hard client at all. I would have never even known that you had, that kind. I didn't even know you dictated your book. So, I mean, you really never, voiced that you were struggling in any way. And if you had, I didn't ever think that you were a hard client. So no, you were a dream to work with. And I'm so proud of you for the book that you created and that you put out into the world. And, everything I suggested, putting in a free gift inside of your book or your contact information, all those things you listened and you really implemented. So I'd be honored to work with you on your next book. I hope it comes soon, because I'd be excited. And also the readers, you're having such success with the first book. It's a great time to get out a second book, because those readers, once they read a book that they like by an author they like, they want the next book. And so if you wait years, they might forget or put the book on the shelf. But right now they're like, where's that next book? So this would be a great time actually for you to come out with a second book and piggyback on some of that success from the first book.
Yes, I can feel it. That inner guidance I talk about, it's just guiding me to the next book. So I'm actually in the process of just, getting it together in your head, how it just starts to form before you sit down. And I think within the next 30 days, I'll start writing and be guided.
Well, great. I'm excited to see what you come up with.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for agreeing to chat with me today. Again, if anybody wants, you can go to Barnes & Noble, you can go to Amazon, but it's Believe It to Receive It by Bernadette Rodebaugh. And you can go to her website, themiracle-ologist.com.
Yay. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Oh, I will. You too. Thanks.
Bye-bye.